Hello and welcome to day 9 of this book, Frameworks, Vol.2 God by Paul Blackham. And we're thinking about the nature of who God is and what he's like. The God as revealed in the Bible. One God, but distinct in three different ways, so to speak. Three different persons. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Some of the most common titles that we use for these three persons. Completely and utterly united, but distinct. And we've been thinking about their roles. Yesterday, the roles of the Father and the Son. How there are particular roles attributed to the Father. That he is the one who initiates, he elects, he governs. But of course, all three persons of the Trinity are completely involved in all of each other's work. So you wouldn't say only the Father creates. And of course, the Son and the Spirit were there working together with the Father, but each playing their different roles in the act of creation. Tomorrow, in day 10, we're going to come to the role of the Spirit. But as we think about the Spirit, before we think about the role of the Spirit, we're stopping and pausing just for a moment. And day 9, we're thinking about what the word Spirit means. And so day 9, the meaning of the word Spirit. The meaning of the word Spirit. What do we think of when we think Spirit? For a lot of people, and in kind of cultural West and in the Church of the West, we might think that Spirit is closely linked with the word ghost. It's to do with the ghostly realm, the spiritual realm, that which is non-physical, the non-physical world which we perhaps cannot see most of the time with our physical eyes. It's some sort of floaty, disembodied existence floating around in some kind of ether or some other realm, some other dimension. But let's stop and look at how the Bible uses the word Spirit. Because the Bible uses that word Spirit in a very different kind of way. It doesn't speak about disembodied existence. It doesn't speak primarily about ghosts and that kind of a world. And one of the best ways for us to think about it is to look at the way in which the Bible links the word Spirit with other words. One of the best examples, one of the earliest examples in the Bible is used in Job. Job chapter 33, perhaps one of the oldest books of the Bible. In Job 33 we have these words: "The Spirit of God has made me. The breath of the Almighty gives me life." Words spoken by Elihu, this wise friend who comes and speaks wise counsel to Job. And he says, "The Spirit of God has made me. The breath of the Almighty gives me life." And again and again and again in the Bible, these three words are connected: Spirit, breath, and life. Spirit, breath, and life. In the book of John, think about the teaching of Jesus. After the resurrection, he says to his disciples, receive the Holy Spirit. And he says those words in the context of him breathing on them. With that, he breathed on them and said, receive the Holy Spirit. It is his breath, his life-giving breath, that is linked and connected with the Spirit. Or thinking about the death of Jesus. When he's on the cross, in his final moments, he commits his spirit to the Father. "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit," he says, recorded in Luke chapter 23. And when he had said this, he breathed his last. And so those three words are Spirit, breath of the Almighty, giving life. That's how the Bible seems to think of and use the word Spirit. It's connected with life and with breath, with the breathing that we do, and the giving of life to others. And when we think about life, the Bible speaking about life isn't just about mere existence, as in being alive in terms of our physical bodies and just being alive, but actually it's talking about the fullness of life, the full experience of the life, the joyful, abundant life which God gives us. So the Spirit isn't about disembodied, floaty existence, but it is about life, the life which God created. And one of the best examples of this is, again, looking at the life of Jesus. In his incarnation, when he takes on flesh, when he becomes like us and moves and lives in in that very fleshy sense of our existence in human bodies. He is filled with the Spirit, isn't he? At that first Christmas, when he comes down and becomes a baby, a human baby, he is full of the Spirit, and yet he is fully flesh. The two aren't in opposition in the way that we might think of the spiritual life as just about floaty, ghostly existence. Jesus is full of the Spirit. He is full of life. In the language of the Creed, which we say week by week in our church and many other churches, we believe in the Holy Spirit, the Lord, the giver of life. One of the Gregories in the early church in the 3rd century put it like this, that the Spirit is the life-giving life. The Spirit is life-giving life, the life of God going forth, sent out from the Father, who initiates all things, and he goes forth and gives life. That is what the Spirit is, the life-giving life of God. So we look forward tomorrow to think a bit about the role of the Spirit. What does the Spirit do? But as we think about him, when we read about him in the Bible, as we come across the Spirit, let's not think disembodied, floaty existence. Let's think about the life-giving life of God, sent forth from the Father into the world.